All right, we will be covering the specifics of the Team DSI closing form that you will use after your presentation, whether it's a one-on-one, online, or for a group. First things first, what you want to do is copy this link down. It's http://closingform.onebody.info. So this is actually the form, the link to get the form that we're going to be talking about in today's training. Once you have that link, it is a two-sided form. You'll want to download it and print at least 10 copies that you want to keep with you at all times as you're doing your closing. So when you get to the link, this is what you'll see. On the left is the front, there's the first page, on the back is, or on the right is the second page. In the rest of the training, we'll be talking about the specifics for using this form successfully during the close after your presentation. And all of this information has been taken right from the Fast Track manual. It's nothing new. It's already in the form, but right now you'll have a convenient form that you can use while you're closing your client. Now the DSI closing form is good for group mixers, one-on-one presentations, and even online Skype presentations. And I'm going to let Viola talk on how we've successfully used this particular form on one-on-one and mixer presentations this prior week.
Yes, I am so excited with this form. We did a lot of USANA business last week, and I mean a lot. And so we have successfully been able to implement it so that we can give you feedback on it. So we found that it was very versatile. You can use it for one-on-ones, online, and mixers. And we did 2 mixers last week. We had 2 one-on-one appointments at USANA, at the USANA home office with prospects. And we also have done long-distance closings after several people watched the presentation online. So it's a form that you can just use with all of your closings. The mixer actually made it so that it was a smoother transition from presentation to the person taking action. And for online and one-on-one presentations, it gave you an easy form to write down the information for the close, and it's also a great follow-up reference sheet on your client that you can use in the future. So what we're going to cover first, we're going to go through each of these on how you would use the form because there's a little bit of differences between a group mixer, one-on-one, and online Skype presentation. Okay, so after a mixer presentation, and I know several of you have done mixers, and we're all having a lot of fun with them. We're having a lot of success. I just have noticed that it was kind of a little bit shaky over here in Salt Lake when we were closing people because this form is just going to make it so much smoother. So it doesn't matter if you're having a Sansei or a shake and bar mixer. It doesn't matter what kind of mixer that you're having. After the presentation, what you want to do is you want to take your sheet and you want to hand out the closing form to each person along with a pen or a pencil. So they are actually going to be filling this out themselves. So this is what the form would look like. They're going to write their name, put the date on, and you're going to ask them each of these questions. So they're going to be answering these as you ask them. So we don't really want people working ahead. So you want to give them enough time to answer them, but not too much time. So this is how it would go. What did you like best about what you just saw? Tell me more about that. And then you just want to be quiet and let them write. And then you'll watch them. You'll watch them write. And when you see that most everyone's done, you want to go to the next question. What are 3 areas of your health that you would like to improve? So we're asking everybody this question because everyone wants to improve their health, whether they want to just use products or become an associate. So they're going to write these down. Just give them time to do that. Then move on to the next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 5 meaning you'd like to try the products as a client and 10 meaning you'd like to try the products, save on your taxes, and also make money as an associate, where are you? Please circle one of these numbers. So again, you're going to wait for them to circle one of these numbers. Okay, so next, what you're going to do is you're going to continue with the form, and these questions are at the bottom of the sheet of the first page. And so you're going to ask this. You're going to say, for those of you who circled 6 through 10, I want you to answer these. The rest of you, I just want you to just be patient for a few minutes. It'll just take a few minutes to go through these. So these are the questions, and what you're going to do is ask one at a time. Hypothetically, based on what you have just seen, if you were to get started with USANA on a part-time basis, approximately how much money would you need to earn per month to make this worth your time? So they're going to think about it for a while. They're going to think, and you're going to see them kind of say, I don't know, and you say, well, just think about it. How much would you like to make extra than what you're making at your normal occupation? So then they'll write a number, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Okay, question number 2. Approximately how many hours could you commit each week to develop that kind of monthly income? Write down the hours per week, and they'll think about it for a minute. Again, you don't want to give them too much time. You want them to answer them together. Okay, number 3, how many months would you faithfully work those hours each week in order to develop that kind of monthly income? So they'll put maybe 6 months, 12 months, maybe 2 years. Number 4, if I could show you how to develop an income of, write down your first answer there. You're going to tell them to do that, per month, working however many hours per week you could over the course of however many months. Would you be ready to get started? And they'll write on there yes or no. So even if they are a 1 or a 5, they're not filling this out, but we want them to hear the questions because it's going to get them starting to think. I mean, they might think, well, maybe I do have 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week that I could work on my USANA business. So this may actually change their whole idea of what they want with USANA. So we do want them to listen to these questions. Okay, so after you get done with all the questions, then what you want to do is you want to gather their sheets. Okay, so these are not their sheets to keep, these are yours. And you are going to look at these sheets and determine whether they are a client or an associate. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the numbers. From 1 to 5, we're going to assume they probably just want to be a client. Now this is just an assumption, and that can change because sometimes someone might circle a 5 and they really move into the associate. They want to be an associate. So we got to learn to be flexible when we're closing people and just kind of go with the flow. If they circle 6 through 10, we're assuming they want to be an associate. However, that 6 may want to just use products. So again, you're going to determine the best that you can by these numbers, and then you're going to separate into groups. You're going to have a client group and an associate group. And the scenarios will be different at each mixer because you're going to have people that are maybe like 2 clients and 1 associate, or 2 associates and 1 client. And you're going to have people actually moving from one group to another. So you just need to use your intuition. And it's really nice if you have other associates that are attending your mixer that have been trained to close, because it's very helpful because you can actually assign one of these associates to the closing of, let's say, the client group or the associate group. But you want to be really careful when you assign them to a group. Make sure that the person is trained, because if they're an associate not trained, then obviously you don't want to assign them to a group because it'll be your responsibility to actually close. Okay, so the first group, let's say, would be the client group. And it doesn't matter if you want to start with the client group or the associate group. You're just going to have to determine that with the dynamics of the evening. So if they circle 1 to 5, you're going to want to read the client closing script, which is on page 6 of the Fast Track manual. So you already have their 3 help areas identified on the form. So this is already part of your work already done. And these right here, fill out the Getting Started form and enroll as a new client, post on Facebook, celebrate. All of this is in the Fast Track manual, and it's also listed on the back of the closing form. So you can turn your sheet over, and so it's just there, right there for you to follow instructions. After a client enrolls, read them page 9 of the Fast Track Manual, Introduction to Ladd McNamara CD. You always want to leave your client with something. So they've ordered products. You don't want them to go home empty-handed. So you want to make sure that you have a supply of the Dr. Ladd McNamara CDs. You'll want to give that to them, tell them, I want you to listen to this while you're waiting for your products to come. And they feel good about leaving your mixer with something. Okay, so if your client is interested in weight loss, then what you're going to want to do is explain the Reset Weight Loss System. This is the link to get the forms of the questions that you would read to them. And this is soon to be added to the Fast Track Manual as page 10. So right now, you'll want to just write this down. It will be on the back page of your closing manual, so you'll have it, but you will want these sheets already printed out, so you don't have to open up your computer and open it up that way. If they don't enroll, read script on page 9. Don't enroll on first exposure of the Fast Track Manual. Send them home, again, with the Dr. Ladd McNamara CD, and these are all instructions that are in the manual. And you get all of these instructions on the back side of the closing sheet. You want to schedule a follow-up appointment with this person because that is key. You want to already have something on your calendar for them. So remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. You've just held this awesome mixer and you've gone through all this work of teaching them and them trying the products, and so many times the follow-up or the follow-up is where the ball gets dropped, and that's just like not even acknowledging your work that you've just done. So you've got to put that on your calendar and make sure that you follow up. Okay, so next group is the associate group. They have circled 6 through 10. You want to go to page 5 of the Fast Track Manual, Associate Closing Script. You want to find out which option is best for them, the package, at the address, and by the credit card information, Social Security, business development system, birthday, and this is all on the the application to get started. If the associate enrolls, read page 9 of the Fast Track Manual, New Associate Homework Script. Be prepared always, have blank copies of the Fast Track Manual to get them started. This again is on page 2 of the closing sheet. If associate doesn't enroll on first exposure, read page 9 of the Fast Track Manual script if they don't enroll first exposure. Be familiar with these before your mixer. If they don't want to be an associate, however, a money objection arises, read page 8 of the Fast Track Manual, the money objection script. Okay, so Randy, I'm going to turn the time over to you on the one-on-one and the online closing.
Right, so now we're doing a one-on-one, okay, one person, or the two of you with one client or one person. What are we going to do different? What we're going to do different is do not hand out the Team DSI closing form at the end of the presentation, whether it's a one-on-one or online. Basically, you will ask the closing questions. You'll have the form there, and you'll write down their answers on the form. So if you're face-to-face, they'll actually see you writing down their answers on this form. So again, one-on-one or online, we don't hand out the form. We take care of getting all the information together. So basically, going over it again, we'll write down their name, the date. We'll ask them, what do you like best about what you saw? They'll tell us one thing. Tell me more about that. We'll jot down some more. What are 3 areas of your health that you'd like to improve? We'll get those jotted down. And finally, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 5 meaning you'd like to try the products as a client, and 10 meaning you'd like to try the products, save on your taxes, and also make money as an associate, where are you? And wait, and they'll tell you. So if they circled 6 through 10, it's almost the same thing that we just covered in the group presentation, other than you have the sheets right now. Continue and ask the questions. Okay, hypothetically, based on what you've just seen, If you were to get started with USANA on a part-time basis, approximately how much money would you need to earn per month to make this worth your time? Let them answer. Approximately how many hours could you commit each week to develop that kind of monthly income? Again, let them answer. You write it down. How many months would you faithfully work those hours each week in order to develop that kind of monthly income? They'll tell you. Jot it down. So now you got all that. So if I could show you how to develop an income of $3,000 per month, working 10 hours per week over the course of 12 months, would you be ready to get started? And if the answer is yes, we'll break out the fast track manual, go to page 5, and go through the associate closing script, which goes over the 4 options or already prepackaged options that they could get. Figure out their choices, get down their address, credit card information, social security, birth date, basically fill out the getting started form. So once the associate enrolls, I turn to page 9 of the fast track manual, and I'll read the new associate homework script. Again, be prepared. Always have blank copies of the fast track manual, because that part of the script, it talks about giving them a fast track manual or sending it to them if it's an email, and having them watch the fast track manual video. That's a good portion of that homework. So if the associate doesn't enroll on the first exposure, again, break out page 9 of the fast track manual script, read that script if they don't enroll. Money objection, read page 8, the money objection script. It's all pretty well laid out there for you. So now, if the person one-on-one says I want to be 1 through 5, you want to basically a client, great. Bring out the fast track manual, go to page 6, and read the client closing script. You've already have their 3 health areas identified. It's basically sitting them down, identifying what products best fit their needs based on their health area concerns. Write it down on the getting started form, get all their information, enroll them as a client, post on Facebook, celebrate, and then after they enroll, turn to page 9 of the fast track manual and read the introduction to Ladd McNamara CD and give them the CD. Again, if they're in another state, it's going to take a little bit before their products get to them. So they'll be able to learn from the best. Dr. Ladd McNamara is what these products have done during his practice. So if a client is interested in weight loss, go through the reset weight loss system. It's a 4-page document that is at this address, resetprepscript.onebody.info, and soon to be added to the fast track manual as well. Or if they don't enroll as a client, read the script on page 9. Don't enroll after first exposure. And then send them home with the Dr. Ladd McNamara CD, another powerful tool that they'll definitely enjoy as they think about what they want as a client. And schedule the follow-up. But like Viola talked about, the fortune is in the follow-up.
Okay, so the Team DSI closing sheet, this closing makes you look professional. It looks like you know what you're doing, you have a sheet, and it gives organization to a mixer closing, I have found. Also, it gives you a follow-up sheet for future reference. No matter who you're closing, you can file it, you have the date on there, you can make notes on it of when you call them for follow-up and what's taking place. Very valuable sheet. I would make sure that you have several of these so that you don't run out. Jared, is there anything you would like to add to any of our training?
No, I think it's great. Thank you for all your hard work.
Okay. You're welcome.
So to be prepared with the closing, you want to have of course, the Team DSI closing form, the 2-page form that you print out back to back, 10 copies, the getting started form and the price list, of course. the reset prep script, which will soon be part of the fast track manual as well, and the fast track manual. Always want to be carrying all of these with you at all times. Multiple copies. So again, these you want to be prepared at any closing.
So if your client observes you reading the closing form, they too will feel like they can do it. And that's so true. There is nothing wrong with keeping it simple, because simplicity equals duplication. And that's what really where success comes from. So thank you all for letting us share our new closing form with you. We are really excited with using it, and I hope that you all find value in using it as well.